Going on, Jerome's NFL Combine is coming up later this week, and the Vikings, take a look at a number of players and some stuff and some things. A lot of running backs, a lot of defensive tackles who I feel like there's going to be some absolute physical freaks along the defensive line. We'll talk about one here in a second, but of course, a couple Vikings doing some great things at the Combine. Justin freaking Jefferson, 9.69, nice RAS. Absolutely getting things done in the 40 as well as in the explosive drills, which panned out. Also, just put on a clinic in the receiving drills. It was really good, man. And also, I remember at the time, I feel like I'm the only person who admits that they had concerns about Jefferson only working in the slot at LSU. Did he have the strength to be able to get off the line, playing the X or the Z at the NFL level against press coverage? Seems like that was a large concern at the time. Was he going to be, I know the CD was in his draft class, but was he going to be a CD Lamb slot majority type player? Who knew? But seeing greatness there. Also seeing greatness, Kevin O'Connell, 2008 Combine from so 6'5" and change, and 9.64 RAS, just doing things in the 40, just looking really damn good. Also, yeah, the style of 2008. So he had the, I want to say like he had the highlight spiked hair, and there should have been a puka shell necklace and maybe like a Hollister shirt. Whoa. I mean, he was a SoCal dude, right? But I don't know. Like I honestly feel like Kevin O'Connell should still be playing right now. Like Joe Flacco, same draft class, coming in out of Delaware State. So I think that it's certainly possible. Should happen. Or Delaware. Yeah, Blue Hens. Yeah. But is what is. Glad that Kevin O'Connell is our head coach. Also, J.J. McCarthy looking good. So through also, I think it's weak sauce when quarterbacks don't throw at the Combine. I mean, J.J. McCarthy is throwing at the hotel in the Combine. That's how much he loves ball, because I think it's a competitive thing. Because, yeah, pro days are great because everything's scripted, all the receivers and it's your home field advantage and all that stuff. But I understand that there isn't a one-for-one comparison for when things actually happen in your career in the NFL. Coming into a unique location and throwing to receivers that you've never worked with before, working with coaches that you never worked with before. I don't care. Go out there, compete, and ball out, right? But also, don't fall in love with quarterbacks like Anthony Richardson when he threw at the Combine a couple years ago. Just dropping bombs all over the place. That's what people want. Like, people don't care about finding the honey hole against a perceived cover 2 on like the 15-yard dig. Like no one's caring about that. They just care about the bombs, which it's kind of ridiculous. But JJ showed up and showed out throwing. Also, really damn good in the agility drills. Like, his shuttle and 3-cone were really damn elite. But we got ourselves an athlete. Also, that right knee is going to be good to go. Putting on that good weight again, he's going to be fine. Also, something that's going to be fine is Sam Darnold to the Rams. Could be a thing, because we said that the Rams would make the most sense for Darnold moving forward because of the Sean McVay, Kevin O'Connell offensive overlap. The fact that he's from Southern California, also the Rams have weapons, makes sense. Where if Stafford retired or was traded, it makes all the sense in the world. And reportedly, the Rams have given Stafford's agent permission to speak to other teams, potentially working out a trade and a new contract for Stafford, which, first off, no, Stafford should not be in the conversation about the Vikings, J.J. McCarthy's team. This guy's team. But if Stafford is indeed traded, potentially to the Giants, could they get back some draft capital? And then could they throw some of that draft capital at the Vikings for exclusive negotiating rights for Sam Darnold in a tag and trade situation? I think it's something worth monitoring, and more teams that would be firmly in the Sam Darnold derby, the better. And so the Rams is a huge one, because I think that Darnold would want to go there. I think that the Vikings will be willing to make a deal with the Rams and just go from there. And also, I mean, the Rams, they know how well he performs under pressure in practice every single day. 9 sacks. We'll see. Speaking of sacks, so Shamar Stewart, he is a physical freak, just an absolute monster. But college production, sort of Spartan. 1.5 sacks per season over his 3 years in College Station. Did have 31 tackles this year, but Shamar Stewart is the physicality doesn't match up with production on the field, right? And yeah, you can talk about Danielle Hunter, who also had 4.5 career sacks in college, but is that an anomaly, or is that something that you can bet on? We'll see. But long story longer, our guy Bucky Brooks put together top 10 prospects who could rise during pre-draft process. Shamar Stewart, so in a lot of mock drafts, he's there at 24. And the Vikings obviously need help along the defensive line. And Shamar Stewart, he's an interesting prospect. This is what Bucky wrote. The biggest boomer bust prospect in the 2025 draft class could creep into round 1 with a strong showing in Indianapolis. I think that he does go at the back end of round 1. And I think that he does. I think that he does become a combine warrior. I think that he's going to be a true blue physical freak. Shamar Stewart heads into the pre-draft process as one of the more intriguing players on the board, possessing prototypical size and tools for a trench warrior with disruptive potential. The Texas A&M product flash take over the game capabilities at the Senior Bowl, but the glimpses of promise are not matched by his regular season production: 65 tackles, 11 for loss, 4.5 sacks over 3 seasons. Conducting scripted workouts in a t-shirt and shorts is obviously nothing like playing a game in pads, but the athleticism and technical skill displayed could help a team determine if Stewart might emerge as a star at the next level. And you do always wonder, if the guy is such an amazing athlete, amazing physical freak, especially against lower level competition in college, how come he's not dominating, and how does that translate to the NFL level? Whereas some players don't have all the physical tools, but technically they're sound and they're very productive. And that's always the balance in the NFL draft. Do you draft the physical freak, mama, I can change him, or do you draft the guy who doesn't check all the boxes, whether it's measurables, whether it's testing, whether it's stuff like that, but the guy can just ball, right? That's all. I feel like GMs tend to go with the physical dude because you're not going to get second guessed if you just take the physical free. Well, he's 6'5". He's 6'5". He's a 290. Or sorry, Stewart's 6'6", 290, and he's an absolute physical freak, and it just didn't work out. Whereas if you took the short, stocky, maybe not so muscular, maybe not so quick defensive tackle, but a guy who just can get it, I don't know. Sometimes that works out. But yeah, Stewart is a name that Vikings fans should certainly watch for this week, as it's a position of need, position indeed. And also, Shamar Stewart, Shamar Turner, and Walter Nolan on the same D-line. It's crazy, man. Crazy times. Anyways, next, cut candidate for the Vikings is a backup tight end, Josh Oliver. Now, don't want to say he's backup tight end because he is integral to the Vikings offense, namely the run game. But there's a couple things. So first off, the Vikings run game over the last 3 years has not been good, and he's been here. Josh Oliver's been here the last 2. But would it be way worse without Josh Oliver? Yes. I think that, frankly, he is one of the best blocking tight ends in the National Football League. But he's 28, so obviously some good years left in his prime. Last year he had 23 catches, 263, and 3 touchdowns on 27 targets. All those were career highs, which is interesting because when he came to the league out of San Jose State, he was seen as more of a receiving tight end and not so much a blocker. But during his time with the Jaguars, the Ravens, and the Vikings, he has flipped the script. He's a decent receiver, but he's a hellacious blocker as a tight end. PFF's number 1 graded run blocking tight end last season. He's currently in the third year of a 3-year, $21 million deal. They signed in 2023, and this year he's due a $7.95 million base salary, but none of it's guaranteed, and the Vikings would save $5.152 million in cap if they did move on from Josh Oliver. But I think what's going to happen is Oliver obviously is a major part of this offense, and I think that TJ Hawkinson, as he's still easing back into things, it's clear that Oliver was a nice receiving tight end 2, tight end 2, tight end 3, and obviously tight end 1 when it came to blocking. So I think that if the Vikings want to really improve the run game, Oliver's going to have to be a major part of that. And also Kevin O'Connell, this was the regime that gave him that contract. So I think that Oliver will be back. I think that they'll work out an extension as opposed to a pay cut or a cut situation. Maybe a 1 or 2 year deal, backfill some of the guarantees, but lowers his cap hit, which is at 9 and change, something like that this year, and then go from there. I think that's what's going to happen with Josh Oliver, but the business is a business, and it also could be a spot too where Oliver is cut and then he explores the market, but then he's like, "Baby, come back." It's happened before. Lastly, so I love these $15 budget 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tier type lists, but here's a great one for the Vikings, and you got the great quarterbacks, running backs, receivers, tight ends. I feel like there's a pretty easy way to go about this. Like, I feel like this is the correct way to go. So you get Dante Culpepper, get your roll on for $1, which peak Dante was amazing. Should have won the MVP in 2004, and just absolute monster, man. $2 you get Dalvin at running back, which, so you got Foreman, you got Robert Smith, you got Adrian Peterson as well, but I'm comfortable with Dalvin. Like, peak Dalvin, healthy Dalvin is pretty damn legit. And we're going to take him in the backfield. And then at receiver, I'm spending up at receiver because the Vikings are the team of wide receivers. So taking Jefferson at $5, Randy Moss at $5, 2/3 of the budget, do not care. Because we got Dante, small hands, still getting your roll on, chucking downfield, represent Central Florida. Woo! Love it, man. And $2 left over, you got Klein Saucer. Now, I may even save $1 and take Jermaine Wiggins because Klein Saucer's a badass, more of an H-back, but I mean Wiggins was a solid receiver as well. So I don't know, but sort of diabolical that Jefferson, Carter, and Thielen are in the same column. So you can't take multiple of them, but is what it is. Also Percy Harvin for $1, that's really damn good. Like, do you flip the script a little bit and do you? So I guess you could go Dante for $1, Adrian Peterson for $5, that's $6, Jefferson $5, that's $11, Percy Harvin for $1, that's $12, and then you get Hawkinson for $3 for $15. I mean, I guess that could work too, but then you're missing out Randy Moss. So what's the point? Could I have Percy as my running back and just nix Dalvin and then save $1? Or no. So Dante, $1. Percy Harvin, my running back, $1. Jefferson and Randy Moss, and then you have Hawkinson for $3. Woo! And circle gets the square. I love it, man. But anyways, that's it. Vikings news dump this wonderful, beautiful Sunday. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skol, production value.